Namaste. I'm Walck, a certified Iyengar yoga teacher, and welcome to Hip Hip Hooray! This is a sequence designed for all of you walkers, runners, hikers, bikers, golfers, surfers, for all of you outdoorsy individuals who are just super excited that the warm weather is back with all of us. We can get out in the sun and in the elements and just feel our bodies becoming one with the universe. So you're going to need for this sequence a block, a belt, and a couple of blankets, as well as a mind that's open, aware, and joyful. Come with me. Our first series of poses are from a cycle that B.K.S. Iyengar calls Supta Padangusthasana, stages 1, 2, and 3. This is a great set of poses to loosen up the hamstrings, the gluteal muscles, to open the groins and bring freedom to the organs in the abdominal cavity and the pelvic cavity. And I always feel like my diaphragm, that muscle that's responsible for, well, one of the muscles, the largest muscle responsible for our ability to breathe in and out, gets stretched and relaxed, and it brings a sense of, because my breath is flowing so much more freely in my body, a sense of peace and tranquility to my mind. Start lying down on the floor. Have your belt and an extra blanket. Lie down evenly on your spine, and then use your hands to move the flesh of your buttocks towards the backs of your heels without flattening your lumbar spine. So while the lower back shouldn't be lifting up and away from the floor because the buttocks are bunched up towards the lower back, we all do have a normal lordotic curve in our lumbar spine. Don't flatten your lumbar spine. Okay, now, with both of the legs reaching from the back of the top of your waist all the way through your heels, keep both frontal thighs rolling from the outside in. On an exhalation, while maintaining the even distribution of weight between both sides of your body, bend your right knee into your chest, and watch, see how I take my hands behind my knee, and I use my fingers at the back of my knee to relax and soften those tendons at the back of my knee that can get hard when I walk a lot, or if I stand for a long period of time. And then see how I keep moving this outer thigh down towards my hip, and this outer hip away from me as I bring this thigh closer and closer and closer to my abdomen. I can feel now that I'm getting a nice squeeze on the organs on the right side of my body. Okay, and then from here, keeping the left thigh turning from the outside in, raise your head up, reach from the inside of your right leg for your right big toe, and then with your next exhalation, bring your right shoulder to the floor as you lift your right heel up and away from your right buttock bone. Make the sole of your right foot face the floor, and the top of your right thigh come closer and closer and closer to the floor while maintaining that even distribution of weight over the two sides of the body. Okay, now take your belt and place the belt around the arch of the foot, and then keeping both of the shoulders moving down towards the floor, the outer shoulder blades. Raise the right leg up in the opposite direction. And then, just as you did earlier, take your outer right thigh down towards the floor. Move that right outer hip away from your right shoulder. And then, to bring your leg closer to you, while exhaling, move the top of the right knee away from you as you bring your shin and your foot towards you. And do that 3 times and see, am I able to keep both legs straight, this right shoulder on the floor, and hold the big toe. And then release the right leg and change sides. Keeping that right thigh rolling in, reach for the back of your right knee, left knee. See that that right heel keeps moving away from the right side of your waist, so your back body stays long and active as you bring that left thigh up against your left pelvic and abdominal organs. So you squeeze the ones on the left side this time. Now raise your head up, reach for your big toe, and on an exhalation, as you bring that right outer shoulder down towards the floor, lift your left heel up and away from your left buttock bone. And see how I use the bend of my left elbow to pull my left thigh down towards the floor and bring my left toes back towards the wall behind me. And then taking the belt around the outer edge of the foot, keep rolling that right thigh from the outside in. In fact, you want to move the right buttock away from the left one. And start the action of the turning of the right thigh by moving the right buttock away from the left one. And then keeping both outer shoulders down on the floor, raise your left leg up in the opposite direction, and then work with the breath as you did before. Keep moving the top of the left knee away from you, as with an exhalation, you bring that left shin and the left foot closer to you. See how my leg stays straight when I work that way? With my intelligence and my breath, as well as my arms and my legs. And then bend your left knee, bring the foot to the floor, and stretch the leg back out. If you have any restriction in the groins or in your hamstrings, you can repeat this, you can do this cycle of Supta Padangusthasana 1 this way, with the left knee bent. If reaching for your foot is challenging, you could take the belt, use the belt. Now for the second stage of Supta Padangusthasana. You're going to need your belt and your blanket this time. See how I take this blanket and I fold it up into thirds. Or I could make a roll with it. Start lying down on your back and take this blanket up against your outer right hip. Okay, now either holding your big toe or the belt on an exhalation, keeping the left side of your waist down on the floor. Extend the right leg out to the side and let your right outer leg rest on, closer to your hip, rest on the blanket. Raise your head up and look at your 2 frontal hip bones and see that they're even from the right to the left. If the right one is down and the left one is up, on an exhalation, turn your pubic bone from the right to the left, so that the pubic bone moves towards the inner left thigh and away from the inner right thigh. Inhale and bring your leg back up. Change sides. I'm going to turn this way so you can see that using the blanket this way helps to keep me centered over the median line of my body. And again, it keeps my two frontal hip bones in the same plane of space, which opens this groin more. See how, if I take the blanket away, this angle closes. But when I keep the blanket against my outer left upper thigh, this angle opens. And I can feel much more length coming to this inner left leg. Now for the third stage, my favorite stage of Supine. This stage works directly on the hips. You don't need your belt now, or the extra blanket. This is the final pose. See how I raise my head off the floor, and using, again, the bend of this elbow to bring this leg closer to me. Surprise! This pose incorporates the flexibility, the stretch in the hamstrings and the length in the gluteals, with the turning of the thigh and the release of the inner groin from Supine 1 and 2. We're going to do this in stages. I'll turn this way so that you can get a better angle to see the pose. Lie down on your back with both of your knees bent. Take your right leg up, turn your right leg out from the top of the thigh, right at the hip joint, and then bend your knee and place your right ankle across the bottom of your left thigh, near your knee. Again, maintain that median line from the back of the head to the spine, all the way to the sacrum. With an exhalation, raise your left foot off the floor, just like you did in that first part of Supine stage 1. Take your hands behind your left knee, and then using your right elbow to release that right inner groin, to lengthen it towards your knee, and to turn your thigh out at the top, the middle, and the bottom, while relaxing your groin all the way up near the hip joint. Bring your left thigh closer to you. See how my right knee and my right ankle are in the same plane of space. I'm using my right elbow to help me achieve that. Okay, now, with your right shin closer to you, use your right hand and your left hand to hold your right foot closer to your left shoulder, and then let go with your left knee. Bring your left foot to the floor. Okay, now, take your right hand, and with an exhalation, with a pumping action, turn your right thigh away from you while you bring your right foot closer to you. And I'm turning my right thigh out all the way. I'm moving this right buttock away from the left and turning the top, middle, and bottom portions of the thigh. Release your right leg and change sides. Take your left leg up, and turn it out all the way from the top of the thigh, and then bend the knee, and place the outer left ankle on the bottom of your right thigh. With an exhalation, raise your right foot up off the floor, reach around behind your right knee, and then use your arms to bring your right leg closer to you and your left elbow to move your left inner knee and your thigh away from you. So you're using your left elbow to get length now on that left inner leg. Maintain the stability over that median line from the back of the head to the bottom of the sacrum. And with an exhalation, see, can I use the arms to bring, and the leg to bring my left leg closer to me? Okay, and then once your shin is near your chest, you can take your right hand and hold your outer left foot, your left hand and hold your left shin, and bring your right foot back to the floor. And then again, use your left hand to turn your left thigh from the inside out at the top, the middle, and the bottom, while working with your breath to bring your right foot closer to, left foot closer to your right shoulder. And then release your left leg. Okay, now, go back to where you were before, and then see, can I keep that right leg in position where it was before and straighten my left leg while keeping the back of my body down on the floor and centered over the median line. And then come out and change sides. This is as much as we're going to do today in this pose. But I promise we'll work on it later this summer. And again, if when you try to stretch that right leg out, it doesn't straighten, the knee doesn't extend all the way, or you feel any pulling in your lower back at all, just keep your knee bent. You can stay in this stage and work here if you're already feeling an intense stretching around the area of your left buttock bone. And then release your left foot. Sit up for Gomukhasana, the cow face pose. This pose has arms and legs, the positions for the arms and the legs, but we're just going to work with the legs today. I'm going to take my trusty block and sit on it this way. So it's the wide way. Okay, now watch as I take my right leg, bend my knee, see how the outer edge of my right foot is on the floor, and this right heel is next to my left hip, and then I take my left leg, do the same thing, and bring it on top of my right leg. I'll turn to the front so you can see what the front of the legs look like. So I take that right leg, and I'm adducting my legs, which means that I'm bringing at the hips, which means that I'm bringing them closer to the median line. I'm actually crossing them over the median line. And I can feel now that my right buttock is moving all the way away from the left, and the left one is moving away from the right. This pose feels so good after you've sat for a long period of time, especially in a car or on a bike. And then change sides. Now I'm going to take my left leg first, make it the bottom leg, and then my right leg. And do you see how I'm able to take this leg and turn it out and lie it down? So if the leg won't do that, you can stay in this stage or come to this stage. But don't be in this stage. And then watch how I'm pressing the little toes down into the floor and reaching through those inner heels, which brings my femur heads into the sockets, compacts my hips to extend my spine. Okay, now I'm going to turn the block this way and change the position of the feet. I'll turn around again so you can see clearly how I'm taking my right leg again on top of my left leg, but this time, see how I'm pointing the feet and the ankles straight back towards the wall behind me, and then sitting down. If the buttocks don't reach the block now, you can take the blanket, fold it up, place it on top of the block and the foot, and sit up on it. Or you can repeat the stage that we just did. And then come out and change sides. So this time your left leg will be on top. So see how I bring my right outer shin, ankle, and the little toe side of my foot to the outside edge of the block. Well, I'm calling it that because it's near me. And then crossing my left leg over my right leg and bringing my left outer shin, ankle, foot, little toe closer to the right one. And then keeping the knees pointing straight ahead, I reach back with those buttock bones and sit down. And again, just like in that first stage, I'm going to keep pulling the femurs into the sockets so that my spine rises up, creating a lot of space for my discs between my vertebrae. I always think of like I'm filling them up with fluid when I get the bones to separate that way. Feel the healthy juiciness of the discs. And then coming back out. The next pose is called Upavishta Konasana. From Dandasana, staff pose, where I'm balanced evenly from the buttock bones to the backs of the thighs, to the backs of the knees, the backs of the calves, all the way to the backs of the heels. Take your right leg at an angle off to the right, and then adjust yourself so you're back on the median line of that right leg, which means the inner leg is descending, and so is the outer leg. And the whole top of both legs are facing the floor, and the whole bottom of both legs are touching the floor evenly, especially around the backs of the knees. See how I use my thumbs almost like spatulas to pull the calves away from the knees and towards the heels. And then see how when I do that, the backs of my knees touch the floor. So this is the upright or the seated stage of this pose. We're going to do the concave stage and the forward extension stage as well. For that, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see clearly how I sit up in that open angle, and then keeping my sternum lifting from the bottom to the top of the shoulders rolling back, and the outer thighs descending. Extend the spine forward and reach for your big toes. You can use belts around your feet here if your hands aren't quite ready yet to grasp your big toes. Now see how on an exhalation, again, I use the bend of that elbow to bring, or both elbows, to bring my trunk and my legs closer together in the same plane of space. You can bring your forehead to the floor, your chin to the floor, and then your chest to the floor. From here, from Upavishta Konasana, relax your right leg at this joint, at the root of the thigh, the hip joint, so that the right inner knee turns to the outer knee. And then keeping the leg relaxed, bend the knee and bring your right leg to Baddha Konasana. And then do the same thing with the left leg. So both inner thighs are lengthening away from you as you pull the shin bones towards you, towards the heels, and release the outer thighs, knees, and shins down towards the floor. See how I pull up on my big toes to lift my spine again all the way from the bottom floor to the top floor and all the way up through the crown of the head. With an exhalation, bend your elbows out to the sides and bring your chest down onto the floor beyond your feet. See how I take my hands forward now so that my spine follows the direction of my hands. And you can bring your forehead to the floor, your chin to the floor. And so some of my friends tell me, eventually your chest comes to the floor. If, when you sit up in Baddha Konasana, the knees are up, and you feel your lower spine being pulled down towards the floor, take a blanket, fold it the long and narrow way, and sit up on it so that you can get, again, some of this closed angle to open. You can sit on 2 blankets, 3 blankets, 4 blankets, but then stay in the upright stage, because extending forward while you're sitting up on height can be unsafe for your sacroiliac joints and for also your knees. Okay, now, take your blanket, hold it this way, and see how I'm going to sit on the corner of it. We're all using the blanket this time. For Siddhasana, the perfect being pose. See how I start to take my right leg out like Baddha Konasana, but then I change the position of the shin and the ankle and the foot by turning them down towards the floor. And see how I bring both heels, one in front of the other, in line to my pubic bone. Take your thumb and your index finger, join them together in a symbol of the individual being merging with the universal consciousness. This is Jnana Mudra, the gesture or the mudra of wisdom, clarity. And then take that left leg back out, the right leg back out, and repeat with the left leg in first. Again, seeing that you're turning the shin, the ankle, and the foot down towards the floor. And I'm initiating that action by moving my right buttock away from the left one and then turning the thigh and the knee so that the shin, ankle, and foot turn on their own. See again that your heels are stacked in front of your pubic bone, and feel as you bring your fingers and your index fingers and your thumbs together the possibility that you're living a life with absolutely no divisions. between not just your desires, things you want, or your aversions, things you don't want, but your calling, the calling that comes from deep within your heart, and how you're living your life. There's no divisions between your higher self and how you're moving in the outer world. And then open your eyes, open your palms, stretch your legs out one by one. You can place the blanket under your head now, or lie flat for Shavasana. Before you stretch your legs out, again, bring your awareness to the top of the back of your waist. And as you stretch your left leg out, move your left heel away from you, lengthen your lower back, your left buttock, and the back of your left leg, all the way through your left heel. And then do the same thing on the right side. If you need to use your hands to manually, physically, release the buttocks away from the lower back, then do that. Just like you used your hands to move your calves away from the backs of your knees in Upavishta Konasana. Okay, and then with an exhalation, taking your mind all the way to the very bottom of your rib cage, relax your legs from deep within your abdomen and your pelvis and your groins and your hamstrings and your knees, shins, ankles, feet, and toes. Feel your toes on the ends of your feet as if they were late spring petals on a flower. The ones that are almost ready to come off of the stem. In this Shavasana, observe what is the quality of your breath. How did working with your legs, your hips, your pelvic and your abdominal organs, and even your diaphragm affect your breathing in this Shavasana? And then energetically feel how as you exhale, it's like a spring rain shower for your abdominal organs, for your liver, for your kidneys, for your pancreas, your spleen, for your pelvic organs, for your colon, the large intestine, the small intestine, to your pelvic floor, and all the way down into the rivers of your legs, and out through those streams of your toes. Slow, steady, soft exhalations from the diaphragm all the way down and out through the rivers of the legs, from the lake of the pelvis. The ocean of the breath ends at the very ends of the tips of the toes, those streams. And as you inhale, you feel the diaphragm broadening and the lungs spreading, and the heart opening, and then slow, steady, soft exhalations. To rest not only the nerves in your entire body, but especially the muscles in your legs that are going to carry you all the way through your entire life and provide you with so much joyful activity this spring, summer, and fall. And then one by one, bending your knees and your elbows, turn over onto your right side by taking your right arm overhead and keeping your head down. Sit up. And when you come to Swastikasana, feel, how did all of that work that I did in my asana practice for my hips affect my ability to sit quietly with stability and dignity and gratitude. Peace and blessings to all of you. Namaste.